Let's give a shout out to Rob Pelinka for absolutely fleecing Nico Harrison and playing with this dude. So when they first met up, they both said to each other, "We can't tell anybody about this." If you're Nico Harrison, you have a top five player, a generational talent. Wouldn't it be a good idea just to go and say, "We want to trade Luka Doncic," and you should start fielding other offers? They didn't tell anybody about the situation. Nobody knew what was going on. And at first, the package for the Lakers is going to be someone like Dalton Connect. They have more draft picks involved. But Rob Pelinka said, "Well, we don't know if Luka Doncic is going to stay long term. You're also concerned about his weight issues. And maybe we should pull some of our assets back. We'll give you Anthony Davis. We'll give you Max Christie in a draft pick because I think that's a fair deal." Like, you can't be any more stupid than this. Now, the Lakers' logic, as it says here, according to lead sources, was that parting with both of their first rounders would be too perilous because Doncic can leave in 2026. And if you're Nico Harrison, you're trading somebody to the Los Angeles Lakers. What is the history of the Lakers? They have a knack for attracting free agents to play with superstar players. They also have a knack for trading for superstar players and getting what they want because people want to play in Los Angeles. So, do you really think in the next 16 months, Rob Pelinka can't convince anybody to come play with Luka Doncic and come to LA? You're a complete fool if you think that. Like, if you have some reason that, yeah, we can still compete with the Lakers, come to Dallas. Good luck with that. So, as you see here, they didn't know if they could resign him, and they had no chance to find out before pulling off an exchange that shook the NBA. The Lakers could not talk to Doncic's agent, so the agent didn't even know Philadelphia about the trade because both sides, Dallas, Los Angeles, wanted to keep negotiations a secret. Nico Harrison, you were the biggest fool I've ever seen. Mentioning the behind the scenes details to agents would put the information at risk of becoming public, which it should have been, but the backlash he would receive would be nuts, which the Mavericks especially thought would be too inflammable. Well, it's too late now. I mean, people are just over the Mavericks, and fans are angry, protesting, can't blame them whatsoever. If a trade didn't materialize, then they believe the prospect of being left with a disgruntled franchise setting piece could be disastrous. Again, it looks worse right now. So without the ability to gouge Doncic's appetite to remain in LA long term, the Lakers expressed they couldn't go all the way in for him, league sources said. Like, Rob Pelinka is an absolute genius, and he is a straight master negotiating with these guys. And the Mavericks acquiesced, eventually agreeing to deal Doncic along with Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris for Davis, Christie, and one first-round pick. Again, guess who got more draft capital? Mikal Bridges for, I think, 5 first-round picks or 5 draft picks. Rudy Gobert, De'Aaron Fox. And you mean to tell me a top 5 player only gets count them, one first-round draft pick for somebody that's going to be drafted in 2029, someone in middle school right now? Like, what is going on? And then, of course, the Jazz got in. It's funny. Danny Ainge found out 30 minutes before the deal was going to happen that Luka Doncic was going to get traded. It's a straight fleece from Rob Pelinka. And I don't know how you convince this guy, but my goodness, Nico, like this guy says, got bamboozled. You got played with. I mean, Rob Pelinka sitting there like, "You're my best friend. Just do me a solid. I got LeBron retiring. I'll give you Anthony Davis. He's still really good. He's considered a top 10 player in some eyes. You see the way he plays defense. You can big, but I'm concerned about Luka Doncic's weight." I mean, Pelinka just straight murder this guy negotiating and convinced Nico. I believe Pelinka convinced Nico to keep this a secret. I really believe that. And he can't tell me any otherwise. But man, it's just embarrassing to see what's being reported from this, it's just foolishness. And, seeing how they convince folks able to get his way. Nico Harrison is in for a long ride because when this comes to a conclusion and we look back and laugh even more, Nico Harrison might not be in the NBA anymore as a GM. I mean, you have really, really dug yourself a hole here because the original report was multiple firsts, as you see here, and Dalton Connect, a young piece that makes sense, with Anthony Davis. But Rob Pelinka was somehow able to convince this Nico Harrison guy, "Hey, Luka's a lot of risk. We might end up losing him next season. And I'm just thinking to myself, GMs make these moves all the time knowing they might not sign a guy. And that's the risk you take for a superstar player or an impact player. But somehow you were convinced that, yeah, I should give you less for a top 5 player. Let's see what they had to say here.
Yeah, and there's a weeks-long process. One of my sources inside the Lakers was indicating that the deal was bigger, and I think you guys were literally joking about this
The deal was bigger. It was a big joke at first. I mean, whew, how do you get to this point?
last night, that there were two firsts, and there was Dalton Connect, and the deal got whittled down because I think Rob Pelinka was able to convince the Dallas Mavericks that Luka is a lot of risk. Yeah. You guys are right for trying to look at this way because this guy, he's drinking or whatever, his weight problem, whatever it is. So they were able to convince it. This is a weeks-long process. That's another thing that came out today. Is this wasn't this was and Dallas
almost
started
3.5 weeks.
Dallas started it, dude.
And that's the crazy part. The Mavericks went to the Lakers out of all basketball teams. And you think it's a good idea to send a top 5 talent to the Lakers, knowing they can build around him. You just gift wrap the perfect transition from LeBron James to a Luka Doncic. 72 hours later, Luka is with the Lakers, and you reached out to them. Shouldn't other teams reach out to you about your superstar player, not the other way around? If you're going to reach out to teams, don't just keep it a secret because you look dumb in the end. And you got fleeced by Rob Pelinka. And I don't know how Nico Harrison survives this, but if sources are telling you like, yeah, there was a better deal, how do you control that? How do fans feel about you? I mean, they don't trust you. I just don't get the thought process here. It just doesn't make sense.
This fell in Rob Pelinka's lap, and then he was able to reduce the outward Lakers assets to such. Dude, Mikal Bridges commanded 5 first-round picks.
Well, so the thing with Pelinka, I've just been marveling at. He's like it's like a character out of Succession or something. He has over and over again figured out how to blame whoever was coaching the Lakers for whatever was wrong with them over any of his moves, right? The Westbrook trade, like he could point to all these different things at Pelinka, but he always survives. And then he somehow Jedi mind tricks Nico Harrison with this Davis thing and talks to him for 3 weeks, convinces him not to shop him anywhere else. No, if you're going to trade Luka, like it has to be for Davis. Who else in the league would it be?
And again, how do you sit there as a GM and say to yourself, yeah, I should only talk to one team about a guy who would demand a lot more assets from, I don't know, the Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have draft picks, the San Antonio Spurs. You don't call any of these other teams. You're like, yeah, give us Anthony Davis. And the reason is we want to improve our defense. And you're talking about Luka's weight as one of the other reasons. And you know that Anthony Davis also gets hurt. Wow. I mean, talk about fumbling the bag. And this is going to set their franchise back a long time. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a disaster. And when they look back and probably trade Anthony Davis someday, probably end up losing Kyrie, because Kyrie isn't going to stick around for this. I wouldn't be surprised if he opts out this summer. What's the point of sticking around? Even if you get Kevin Durant, like, who cares? At the end of the day, you're an older roster. I'm still taking the Thunder. Like I said, I'm still taking the Rockets. I'm still taking the Nuggets. I'm taking the Lakers. I'm taking I'm probably forgetting somebody right now, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not taking the Mavericks serious. Not at all. So, wow, it's sad stuff. This is what you don't do as a GM, and casual fans probably feel like I could do his job. Understandable, because you don't go out and shop a top 5 player to a bigger market, and their history. The Lakers are known to attract top talent, and you just gift wrap Luka Doncic to the Lakers. You have a GM get more leverage over you, and they have less assets. You don't tell anybody else. You say, "Yeah, I'll listen to you, Rob. Sure, we're buddies. Yeah, why not?" Again, this doesn't make any sense. I'm fascinated if there's going to be more reports coming out, but wow, you look really bad here, and I feel for the Mavs fans. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on just how the Mavericks handled this whole situation, how Nico Harrison just dropped the ball. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.